Hey everybody, welcome in. This is a part of my usual Retire On series, and Solana has been incredible, and I want to walk you through how to retire on Solana with and without staking, the two ways across the top 12 favorite retirement destinations on Earth. So as usual, let's not waste any more time and jump in. A lot of numbers went into this one, so how to retire on Solana, a theoretical study. Let's jump in. First of all, let's talk about Solana Dominance. The key thing to note here was Solana made up about 0.1% of all the crypto market caps in January 2021. January 1st, 2021. Now it makes up 1.81%. But the key thing to notice here is how it's catching up to Cardano. And that was a big part of my thesis, but we'll talk more about that as well as we go through. Second of all, let's look at Solana versus Ethereum and see how they compare. So far, for the year to date, Solana is up 7,000% and Ethereum is up about 500%. So not bad, not good. We'll see. Another way to look at things as well is the Solana to Ethereum ratio. It went from 0.0018 to 0.036. And as you guys know, I like to watch my ratios and how little pairs compare because it's a great way to identify buying opportunities. So study them carefully. Now, the other thing I'd like to look at is Solana versus Cardano. Here we have Solana up 7,000% and Cardano's up 1,500%. So not too bad either. But let's have a look at some other ways of slicing and dicing. So at the beginning of the year, there was about 6 Cardano per Solana. Now it's over 50, would you believe? So it's crazy when you think of things in those types of dimensions. But let's go back to when I first put my first Solana price forecast together. This was done in my video in May where I pounded the table, should I buy on Solana? And I've done 20 of those videos. This is by far the most excited I ever was. And it was funny because at the end I said, not financial advice, but I was really giddy about this one. So let's look at my initial price prediction model. This was, again, from May, when Solana, I think, was trading at about $29. And the slide is aging very well. I had estimated we'd go easily up to 260, 264 by year end. 2026 target was about $1,100, and it would do a 40x by 2030. But I've revised some of those models a little bit since then. So now this is my updated Solana price prediction model as a percentage of Ethereum. I created 4 specific pricing models for Ethereum. This is just one of them, but just updated with the Solana supply and Ethereum market cap based on my Ethereum price projections out to 2030. The purpose of this study is only going out to 2026, but all the data is here anyway. So basically, the key thing is the models to look at is not necessarily the 2% or 4% of Solana making up of Ethereum's market cap, but really 6, 10, and 20%. My firm belief internally is, I think, with a good size conviction, that Solana will make up 20% of ETH's market cap in the coming years. So what does that mean? So if you look at 20% of ETH market cap in 2021, that could bring us to about $725. If we make it in 2022, $820, 2023, $926, 2026, important for this one, is about $1336. Now, I laid all these out so you could do your own research and figure out, oh, I don't believe it's 20% or 10% or 6%, but 2% is a good one to go with. So here you have the numbers so you can work your own price projections into it. Now, what I also did was I put together all my price projection models, including my summary of my 4 models, which is the original IA on the 5th column. So what I did was I took my 6% ETH model, my 10% ETH model, 20% ETH model, which is a compound model based on Ethereum and price predictions and Solana inflation and supply and everything else. I took my other model, which I have to thank Cardano, because my original thesis, let me step out for a second. When I first started studying Solana, I had to benchmark it against something. Okay, I was convinced that Solana was the ETH killer. But who was the number 2 ETH killer? And that was Cardano. So I analyzed both side by side, and my conviction early 2021 was there is no way that Cardano will beat the functional specs of this platform. From everything I've read on GitHub, all the white papers, all the performance stats, all the TVLs, the growth rates, the ecosystem, you name it. I looked at everything, and that's how I got my conviction. So I said, well, if Cardano is worth this, Solana should be worth this. And that's exactly why I jumped on Solana so hard. Anyhow, my 100% of Cardano at 3.5, that's my price prediction for Cardano, which you're very close to. That should put the value of Solana at $381 in 2021, $472 in 2022, $586 in 2023, $726 in 2024, $800 2025, and $1117 in 2026. Now, what's uncanny about this, and sometimes these numbers just come out the same, my original Invest Answers price prediction was $1117 in 2026, which is exactly the same as the Cardano price prediction, based on Cardano going to $3.50. Now, it could go a lot higher if Cardano goes a lot higher as well. So take that into account too. Then finally, I had my original IA price prediction model, which you saw before from my May video. And then I took an average of all of these. So the average price prediction based on all of these for this year, for this bull run, which could end in Q1, Q2 2022, is up to $390. And the 2026 price average of all my price models could go to $928. And yes, as usual, I am hyper conservative. Again, I always say I would hate people to come back to me 5 years later and say, you were wrong about the price prediction. So I sandbag a lot. This could go a lot higher. And you've seen with the performance as well. So a quick summary of all the price prediction models over the next 10 years. On these different lines, you've got your 6% ETH in blue, 10% ETH in red, 20% ETH in yellow, 100% of Cardano market cap in the tealy color, greeny tealy, and my original IA prediction, and then the average in light blue of all of them together. So just taking the average, it should be over $2,133 by the year 2030. And my most bullish prediction model is nearly $3,200 in the year 2030. And my bearish scenario is about $920 in the year 2030. So they are all the models. And believe me, there is a mountain of work behind these. So let's give you a little warning first as well. And I don't want to destroy the mood, but I have to say this. So actually, let's go back for a second. This really may cause a little bit of discomfort because what you're about to see, I never ask people to subscribe or rarely ask them to like a video because I assume people are intelligent enough to realize the value of my videos. So if you are not a subscriber, you probably didn't see these two videos where I was literally pounding the table on Solana. So sorry about that. Hence the warning, hence the discomfort. Now, the two videos, first of all, Solana should I buy on 17th of May, pounding the table on Solana, the price was $29. And my second video on 22nd of June, how to retire on crypto, where I showcased a live $50,000 portfolio. RON is retire on crypto. I call it RON crypto. And I added a bunch of portfolio to the Patreon portfolio at $22 and added as well after it dipped on the 22nd. So a lot of people talk about, oh yeah, they've been talking about Solana since day one. I've literally been pounding the table with real live evidence. So the internet never lies. So let's go in and look at a couple of things. Before we go though, I'd love to know in the comments below if you did this. Now, this is the really sad piece of the news, because on the 22nd of June, you could have retired for a cost in the year 2026 back on the 22nd of June 2021 by buying $8,404 of Solana. The question is, did you fill your bag? I know a ton of people on Patreon did, so great job to them. People are absolutely delighted and they have financial freedom now. But just imagine, $8,400 at the right time can be life-changing, and that's what we do here in this channel. So here, this is the fun part. So the cost to retire on Solana in the top 12 retirement destinations as voted by the community, this model assumes a couple of things. It assumes a constant rate of inflation of 7.5% from the year 2026 to the year 2050. it also assumes 15% average capital appreciation beyond 2026 on your Solana bag. So take that into account. In addition, in these calculations, I did a staking and non-staking calculation too for you guys to determine exactly where you want to be. So let's jump in and go through these 12 countries real quick. The format is always the same, so you guys will be familiar with it by now if you've seen my other Retire On series. So in the United States, today, to retire on Solana in the year 2026, by the way, that was also requested. People don't want to see retiring in 2030. They want to retire earlier. So what would it take? So this would mean you would have to spend $5,488 a year to have a good standard of living. It doesn't mean you'll be living in San Francisco or New York City, but somewhere maybe Boise, Idaho, or Texas, or somewhere like that. And you will have $5,488 to spend per month. And that inflates at 7.5% per year. So the amount to spend every year is written there in the red in your living expenses, and you can see exactly how things model over time. Now, the real secret here is how much Solana you need. So based on my 3 different price prediction models, I've got my low model, which is the bear scenario. I've got my average of all my 6 models, and I have my bull model. Price prediction for those are 668 in 2026, 928 in 2026, and 1336 in 2026. And I took an average of them all at 977 in 2026. So in the US, to retire, you need 528 Solana, which is the average of all, or 386 in my bull scenario. But if you stake, you only need 279 Solana to retire. So whether you buy that now or you have it by the year 2026, that's all you need to know. So that's the USA. Now Portugal, same deal. You need 3952. This was a very sought after place to retire because I've got a lot of European followers. Again, this typically assumes 2 times the local salary plus enough money for medical expenses and living in a very good place. So the number of Solana with staking on average you need is 274. In my bull scenario, it's only 201 Solana. And you could have bought 201 Solana for $4,000 back on the 22nd of June. That's how fast this thing is moving. And the average of all the models without staking is 380, and that'll allow you to spend $39.50 a month until the year 2050. It's that easy. So you get the hang of the model now. UK, another one that was very much requested, is $4,538. Of course, this is not converted into British pounds. You can do that yourselves. But the whole thing is kind of dollar-based, and there could be a dollar currency fluctuations over the next 10, 15, 25 years, of course. But again, it's a theoretical model. You will need, with staking, and based on the average of all, about 316 Solana, and without staking, 437. And assuming my bull scenario, without staking, 319 Solana. With staking, only 231 Solana. So that is the United Kingdom. Next up is Australia. We have a lot of Australians on the channel, and this is also very much required. This requires $5,229 a month to retire. And again, index 7.5% inflation per year, capital appreciation 15%. You need, with staking in the bull scenario, 266 Solana. Without staking, 368. And the average of all, 364 and 503 between staking and non-staking. That's Australia. Let's see, we have India next. A lot of people are requesting India. So to retire in India, you need about $1,643 a month, and that's to live very well. And you need, in the bull scenario, with staking, only 83 Solana to retire, which isn't bad. Again, it's $1,600 on the June 22nd. Vietnam, another country very much sought after. You need, with staking on the bull scenario, 84.59 Solana to retire to be able to spend $1,659 a month. And again, if this is going too fast, you can pause them down and check them out yourself. Mexico, another popular place for people in North America, to spend $2,300 a month. Mexico's gotten more expensive over the last 10 years because of NAFTA. But you need, in the bull scenario, with staking, 117 Solana to make that happen. Next up in the box is Ireland. A lot of requests as well for Ireland to spend $4,311 a month for 25 years, starting in 2026. With staking, you need 219 Solana, without 303. So pretty easy round numbers there to remember. Next up, Thailand. A lot of people had requested for this. People in places like Germany and Switzerland and Scandinavia, many of them want to retire in Thailand. So there you need about $2,184 a month. Again, inflation is the same, 7.5%, capital appreciation 15%. You need, using the bull scenario with staking, 111 Solana per month, which is not bad at all. Canada, a lot of people in Canada too. You need $4,644 a month. Again, this grows every year based on inflation to keep up with purchasing power. And you need, with the bull scenario and staking, 236 Solana to retire. Not bad. So everything's kind of hovering around as, if you have 300, you're set, which is very similar to my retire on Ethereum, where I said you need about 32 to retire. So something happens with the 300s and the 32s. Costa Rica. To spend $2,801 a month, you need 142 Solana with staking, and without staking, 197, assuming the bull scenario. And finally, let's jump into the conclusion. Why am I so bullish? Part 1. I believe Solana Network is going to eat the world. It is highly performant, and it's very easy to build on. And running anything on Solana, the price feed updates every 400 milliseconds. It's decentralized. It can handle 65,000 transactions per second, 30,000 price updates per second, and settles every 400 milliseconds. This is one of the reasons I'm so bullish, because this is the technology that can run stock markets and other huge markets like that. And that's a huge use case. It can even be the backbone of stablecoins and a whole bunch of other stuff. Conclusion number 2. I believe Solana will easily be worth 20% of Ethereum's market cap and beat out Cardano over the coming years. So sorry, all you ADA fans. As I say, just so people don't get offended, the world is big enough for multiple players. I just believe the intrinsic value of Solana will be more than that of Cardano in a few years or earlier. So we'll see. And Raoul Pal even said 2 days ago, Solana is the ETH of this bull cycle. So Raoul, I love that quote. And I always prefer being conservative, but I'd be very happy to see a price of $1,336 in the year 2026. The way this thing is moving, it could be a lot higher. But again, I sandbag because people's retirement depends on this. And just to think as well, $8,000 could have got you retirement in the US on the 22nd of June. Anyway, to go a little bit further, will Solana survive? At the moment, it's not only surviving, it's thriving. It's over 200,000 daily users, over 500 million of dApp volume, and over 1,000 validators and growing. And the pace of growth is second to none. Same with the ecosystem. The question is, though, is there a Sol killer? So I'm going to leave that with you guys. Please do your own research. And of course, I'll say hit the like if you like this content. Take care, everybody. Thanks for being here.